All right, well, I was going to say that the night's coming to a close, but it's hard to tell with Lighthouse Club. The free drinks have officially finished at 8:30. It's now 5 to 9. The party's continuing, and the Havana bar will put on discounted drinks. I think it's 50 baht a beer, 100 baht for a glass of wine. The last time I was held here, I left at midnight. Anyway, that aside, I'm with Tracy. Tracy, this has been quite a year.
It's been a hell of a year.
A hell of a year. Highs and lows as well.
I would say we've had highs up until the last 2 months.
Okay.
And then a hell of a lot of lows.
Okay. Now, I mentioned in my introduction tonight about you and the Melissa Cosgrove Foundation and how you're not just doing things like putting the kindergartens in the work camps. Because of the flooding this year, and perhaps you want to talk, it's up to you, perhaps you want to talk about this, but there was one little girl, I believe it was, who got electrocuted because of the localized flooding.
That was a little boy, 18 months old. In Pattaya we had floods, really bad floods. The little boy was in the tin house in the camp. His parents were at work. He was electrocuted, 18 months old. His sister was looking after him. And it's really the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. He was, the whole house electrified. He's now, 5 weeks later, he had his leg amputated. The sad thing is, I'm the one who keeps going and going to the hospital, helping the family as much as I can. And they're totally devastated. I mean, this poor little boy, to be electrocuted, and the only thing, it was as if he'd had a circle drawn round his face. The only thing free from burns is a circle around his face. It's one of the most sickening things I've ever seen in my life.
Tracy, I'm unsure how to respond to that. I've got a little boy and I just can't imagine what it would be like. So earlier tonight we were talking about Facebook. Tracy is, she's just this enigmatic woman, and she has so many fans and admirers. And if you were to follow her on Facebook, you will see that every day comes with its own challenges. And I think it would be fair to say that you're never really sure what's going to happen. You get up in the morning, you have a plan, and the plan goes off to the edge.
It's haywire. I mean, it's and the sad thing is about the flood is, I mean, even though I'm doing this day in, day out, the sad thing about the flood is that even the projection, the flood in Bangkok, the projections that we're doing, now we've lost so much money because of the cancellation of events that would normally raise the money. So, people say, oh, we're raising money for flood victims, we're raising money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I really understand it because we are flood victims. But I'm telling you, please don't forget about us. I have 70 boys in a temple, who you've met some of them. 70 boys in a temple who, because, they live off the alms round from the monks, everybody around them has left. So the monks have no alms round, which means the boys have no food. They have no water, flooding them, but they have no food. So it's the knock-on effects.
So despite, we've seen so many reports in the news, and don't get me wrong, it's all great stuff about people doing events and donating money and rice and such ever to the flood victims, but the reality is there are those in communities that need help on a daily basis, even without the floods. And the floods have only exacerbated the situation.
That's right, and that's the most heartbreaking thing. We've now got, 10 times the problems that we had originally, and I commend the people who are generating money for flood victims. But by God, the people who we're helping who are affected by the flood but not the water, it's hell, absolute hell. And that's the sad knock-on effect that people don't get.
And I think it's worth saying that when people watch TV and they see us coming to these 4- and 5-star hotels and we're having a great night, we've got live music, we've got wonderful sponsors, we're drinking, we're eating. But the reality is, this is the, if you like, the glamorous side of it.
But Paul, this is the grassroots of it. In the last 10 days, I've had 5 events cancelled. If this cancelled tonight, I don't know what I would do, because we are in so much trouble because of all the cancellation of events. We have to carry on, and we have to be as normal as we can. Okay, people might say, okay, well, why are you partying? We need that money, and if we don't have that money, we can't do what we're doing. Really, we've lost probably 2.5-3 million baht for November, which means we're now 6 months behind on helping the people who we would have been helping.
Okay, all right.
That's,
So let's put a positive spin on it, because you've now organised an event which you'd like to tell our viewers about.
So now we're going to have an event at Centara Hotel, sponsored by Centara, and also sponsored by Kevin Fisher and CES, who Kevin is my saviour. I spoke to Kevin and I said, look, Kevin, I really am in desperate need. So now on the 9th of December, we're going to have a Black and Bling event at Centara, and we please come along, and we really need that extra help because we've lost so much, and to just recoup a little bit of it and to carry on our bit of normality, we need people to come.
All right, so how do people get in touch?
They can get in touch with me from my phone, or they can speak to Centara. And it's called the Christmas Charity Light Up.
Well, it's always nice to have a bit of Christmas, of course. Something we often forget about here in Thailand. And
Santa's going to be there.
Santa, well, I remember I interviewed Santa, and he sang for me last year at Dina Deluca in Bangkok.
Santa's going to be there.
All right, okay, well, that'd be nice. And what's the cost?
1,500 baht.
Okay, all right, okay, good. So it's not your 3,000 baht kind of figures.
No, it's going to be a classy event.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to buy new tux, right?
Black and Bling.
Black and Bling. There you go. Lots of dates for your diaries tonight. We've heard from Case Kuipers about movers and shakers, Tracy about this Black and Bling event that she's organising at Centara, the Northern Soul Night at the old Goodfellas Club, which is called Play, and of course thanks to Heights Holdings and Vistas. This has been one hell of a year for Lighthouse. If you'd asked me a year and a half ago where Lighthouse Club would have been, I would have probably said it would just fritter away. They are so resilient, they've got wonderful people, but you know what? That is the power of Thailand. It's the Thai people, you're so resilient, and you know what? It rubs off on us Farangs as well, because we're here to help. We'll have a good time, but we'll help as well. This is Paul at the Havana Bar with Tracy for the last Lighthouse Club of the year, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.